A new 5-member BRICS Business Council chaired by Busi Mabuza. The council serves as a link between South African business interests and those of the other member countries, Brazil, Russia, India and China. Bridgette Radebe is a member of the council. She's also the chairperson and chief executive of Macau Mining. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. South Africa, like the other, two others of the member countries, are grappling with economic growth. We've just released the latest numbers. Although there's growth, it indicates growth, it shows challenges as well. How do we get business in the 5 member countries to help with the issues of job creation and economic growth?
I think what we need to do when we look at Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa is to see where we are very strong in terms of our economic advancement. China is very unique when it comes to manufacturing and beneficiation. And Africa, our continent, and all these other continents are very rich with mineral welfare. And you find that, especially in South Africa, we're the number one producer of minerals. Of many minerals all over the world. And platinum, for instance, is the biggest commodity we have. And we have lots of other commodities. We also have uranium for nuclear. But when you look at India, India is very unique when it comes to IT and also when it comes to also beneficiation.
India is growing in that one area that the global world, the global community is looking at, what we always touting as the 4th Industrial Revolution.
And what we need to do, especially when you look at the 4th Industrial Revolution, we have to see where we are stronger than the rest of the world. And that's why when you look into Africa and you want to enter the 1.2 billion consumers in the African continent via South Africa, you find that South Africa has a stature and a standing with a unique economy and unique entry potential into the rest of the African continent.
Where do we pick out that uniqueness when our economy is so much smaller than the rest of the members of BRICS?
We are unique in the sense that our mineral potential is very, very advanced, and we are a very strong mining country. And we're also unique in the fact that Africa have not been explored and has not been totally, infiltrated. So there is a market to penetrate. When you go to other advanced economies like the Western world, they are so advanced and are too oversubscribed. And if you want to see where you can get new consumers, Africa is where you have to go. And not just Africa, if you look also at the other, Brazil, for instance, in Southern America, and China and India, and Russia, for instance. The uniqueness about Russia is the fact that we must make an opportunity, take the opportunity of Russia's challenges in the fact that Russia has been partly sanctioned by many countries because of the Ukraine problem. But that opens up bigger potential and bigger economic ties with what Russia can offer.
Russia is doing quite well in terms of its economy. China is experiencing a non-growth period, yet it's still doing well. It's still the 2nd economy in the world. South Africa and Brazil seem to be the ones that are really, really struggling. What kind of assistance are you hoping to get? You're having a meeting in April with your counterparts from the different countries. What kind of assistance do you hope to get from your counterparts in terms of what can be done to charge up South Africa's economy?
I think what we need to look at, BRICS also created a new development bank for infrastructure. And infrastructure development is very important. And we also have a head office here. There's going to be a big meeting by the Development Bank next month. And those are the issues that we have to look at, infrastructure development. And also development in terms, and also we are already interacting with other countries in terms of how we're going to address the challenges we have with SAA, with ESCOM, and Denel, you know, and there is a lot of interest if you look at the Minister of Public Enterprise and what he's looking at, and what alternative interactions we can have, not just from China, but also from other BRICS countries. So that interdependency and integrated economic approach is very important in terms of addressing whatever challenges we are having.
A person, a small business person, or just an ordinary South African at home watching us right now and wondering, how do all these interactions benefit me? How do we whittle it down?
You whittle it down by looking at the subcommittees. We have 9 subcommittees. If you're in agriculture, you find that agriculture chambers and the subcommittee members of agriculture in all the BRICS countries have committees. So, and then there's also aviation, there's manufacture, and there is IT, and you know, so these committees, these subcommittees assist our Business Council committees, would then interact with the other Business Council committees in other countries. And that's where the deals come out. And that's where the deal exchange and the trade negotiations happen. And there's so much trade happening. Also, there are country chairs. I'm also the country chair of Russia-South Africa Business Forum. So there's a business forum in Russia, there's a business forum in South Africa, and similarly in each BRICS countries, there's a business forum and a country chairs, and each country has 9 committees, subcommittees. So what I'm saying to South Africa is that check in which committee or which economic activity you
can
are.
add value.
If you're a manufacturer, go and talk to that committee and interact with whatever chamber you are, whether you are with Business Unity South Africa, Business Leadership South Africa, Black Business Council. Those are the organizations that have many chambers under the mother body that would then participate as part of a collective under the custodianship of the DTI.
You kept referring to Africa in our conversation, and the Minister of Trade and Industry, Rob Davies, also did the same. Ms. Busi Mabuza, talking to media last week, also said there's going to be an emphasis on Africa. But Africa as a whole is not a member of BRICS. They have their own separate agreements with either China or Russia. How are you going to make sure that you streamline this voice coming from the BRICS platform in interacting with the other 4 members?
Whenever South Africa hosts BRICS, we do invite African leaders, and the presidents come with the African business. We are part of SADC, we are part of African Union, and they're all the economic blocks in Africa. So what we're doing in our BRICS Business Council and also our chambers, whether it's Business Unit South Africa, Business Leadership South Africa, or Black Business Council, and we interact with those chambers in those countries. And we also interact with them, not just as a country chair, but also with subcommittees. So that's integrated, intimate, combined partnership into Africa is what we provide.
Would love to continue with the conversation, but as it happens always with television, we're time-tied. But just a quick one, which is totally unrelated. There was just this big fuss on social media last week when the announcement was made of the council about how you were referred to as Jeff Radebe's husband and not as yourself in terms of the clout that you carry on your own. How do you feel about that?
You know, it's unfortunate. And I remember I saw the social media, everything was tweeting, and Reddy was saying, if you're a South African, you need to know who your people are that are the leaders of the economy. I started becoming the first Black mining entrepreneur 30 years ago in South Africa. There were no Black people mining except the unions, and I was and women. The law said women, Black women or white women, were not allowed to go underground. And then I started, and I only got married to this man who was a wonderful politician. Only when Mandela, 3-4 years after Mandela became the president, he found me with my balance sheets and my business experience and everything, and he found me owning my businesses. But yes, I think what we need to do, we have to recognize and celebrate our business leaders, because Americans are so good at it in the rest of the world. But we tend to not do that, you know. And let us look at who our role models are. Let us look at what it is that we are doing. I've been very active in the design of the mining legislation. You go to any portfolio committee of the economic cluster, they will tell you that's where I am. But beyond that, I'm very active in African Union and the African Pacific Caribbean ACP. Secretary General also always invite me to go and present as the president of the Junior Mining Chamber, but also as a business leader. So the rest of Africa recognizes, in the rest of the world, whether it's World Economic Forum, where I'm part of, where we
deliberations,
or the Fortune Global Forum of the most powerful 200 women that always ask me to come and contribute towards whatever intellectual capital we have. And what I'm saying is that let us, South Africa, criticize the wrongs, but let us also celebrate the goodness of who we are as a nation. And let us, make sure that we continue with the mentorship of breeding future business talent in our country.
Only because of time, we're going to have to end it there. But thank you so much for making the time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Bridgette Radebe is the chairperson and chief executive of Macau Mining, talking to us in her new role as one of the councillors in the BRICS Business Council. We're going to have to go now.